Hey, this is Anney
and Samantha,
and welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. And today, we just wanted to have a quick update on entertainment we're enjoying, because there's a lot of moving pieces. We have a book coming out, if you haven't heard about it, and it has caused both of us a lot of stress. Please enjoy it, but it has been a whole thing. Oh man. But I'm very excited for you to check it out. But a part of that is sort of the stress relief of entertainment and what you look to when you are having these moments. So we just wanted to have a quick conversation about that. There are a couple of things that have come out recently that I know you all know I'm a fan of. So just a check-in. A check-in, is what we say.
I like it. Which, by the way, yeah, I have restricted Anney from buying things because the things that she loves, like it's too easy for her to get the things that she loves. I'm like, but I might have bought it for your birthday, so you're not allowed. Literally had to I banned her from buying things. I'd do it again.
Yeah, which was funny because I had just bought a bunch of stuff. But it was nothing that was in your realm. I don't
right,
think,
I was like, we were good because I didn't even know about that site. So we're good on that one. But everything else, I'm like, just stop now. Just stop. But yeah, we wanted to have a check-in because, we haven't talked about phone games. We haven't talked about cozy gaming in a while, which I'm not doing a lot of. I feel like I've kind of backtracked on the cozy gaming on the Switch. You did tell me a few, and I did see one advertised because it was like the Oxenfree 2.
Oh, I'm going to talk about that, but yes.
Yeah, so I saw that, and I'm like, maybe I need to get that. Sounds like it could be up my alley. But then you're saying all these things, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe not. Because I've discovered I am real lazy when it comes to these games. Like, I liked the Animal Crossing, but I don't want to actually create the village, so it still looks pretty bare and looks like an island without roads. Because I'm like, why? I just want it to be an island with a few houses. I don't understand the problem here. I've built up the museum, if people were wondering, and that's why I've been sending you things, because I'm like, here, take these fossils, because they're just in my pocket now. And I kind of made my house to what it is, but I'm told that I need to do more. But I'm like, I've got an A. What's the next bit? So I'm being very lazy because I haven't been on for a while. So if you looked at my island, there's a lot of weeds that I need to go take care of. Missed out on a few festivals, I think. I have a lot of roaches in my house.
Oh.
That's a thing.
I didn't know that.
Go back and find it, Anney. But I do. I want some like easy gaming. Like we talked about coffee talk. I'm like, so if y'all have some suggestions where I can just barely do things, let me know. Yeah, because I am missing out on a few things. The phone games, I'm still playing just a few games, but I've been doing less and less. I've been playing the Love and Pies, which I've told you about before, and I will say, with all the stuff, all the games that I've played thus far have celebrated like Pride Month, and it was nice to see, and had these little backstories and very cute. I was like, okay, because I told you about the couple in Love and Pies, where it's her uncle and his husband who have been together for years and years and years, and they had the whole like backstory of how they met and them like creating things together. It was very cute. So really still enjoying that one. Doing the June's Journey. I do that every now and again, not as much anymore, because much like Animal Crossing, you have to build that up, and I have made a mess of my town, an island, and there's no way for me to change it. I'm like, I'm done. Someone needs to tell me how to do this. Like my good friend, his island looks amazing. Like I'm like, what? He's got resorts. He's got like all these things. I'm not doing so well. I don't know what half the things function for.
I will tell you that I recently got to go to the beach, and I played Animal Crossing when I was at the beach, and my friends very friendly mocked me. Made a lot of jokes, asked me a lot of questions about my island and how it was going. But my island, no surprise to anyone, is very Star Wars themed. So you should see, Samantha. Now I have a Tatooine state-based flag, and the song of my island is the Imperial March.
Did you create that? Because you have to create that yourself.
Oh, I looked it up. I was like, somebody's done this for me already. I just need to look it up. And someone had done it for me already.
Amazing. I haven't visited your island. I need to do this soon.
It's really a mess. It's actually like that's the 2 high points of it. But
did you get all your fruits? Because I try to send you fruit.
I have all my fruits. I don't. This is what I was worried would happen when I started playing it, is now I'm a completionist. So I'm just like, I had to finish the museum.
It doesn't take as long as you think. Oh. You know what?
I don't time travel.
Oh, that's right. So I've got all of my fossils. I don't have all of my animals. That's true. I didn't finish my museum. I'm a liar.
That's the art that's taking forever.
Yeah, because you have to go. But eventually Harvey builds a whole island and you can go to see him every day.
I did, but he doesn't change his art, Samantha.
Really?
Only on Mondays. This is embarrassing. I didn't
even know that.
Yes, because I'm a completionist.
Well, now this is fun. I'm glad that you're more into it than I am now. I'm like, yeah, okay, you do this. I'm fine. No. I will say, I think on top of this, the reason I've slowed down is because I've been way too much on TikTok. I told you the other day I was not going to get on it all day. I did not. I got on it. Yeah, I failed.
It's tough.
It's like really hard.
Automatic.
It is. Well, now, like, if you've noticed, there's a whole thing where the articles are coming out. We talked about it before, that people are searching more on TikTok than they are on Google. And I've done this. And future plans, I'm planning to go to New York for my birthday. And so I'm going through scrolling through TikTok to find like best places to eat, because my trips revolve around food and food only. I don't care about the sites. I don't care. I just want all the good foods. So I'm searching like different people. Of course, so now my feed is all K-pop, K-drama, New York. Oh, and K-skincare. They got me with that too. Because I'm like, what is this stuff? A whole different story. But yeah, so I'm very like caught up in TikTok. Also, if you live in New York, which I think we have a good chunk of listeners, give me your recommendations about food or something that I can't miss. I'm coming in September and I want to eat all the foods. I've been there before. I've been a few times, but I'm coming in concentrating on food and not people. Because usually when I go to New York, I just go to hang out with people. Nope. This is for my birthday. I want to go eat the foods. Yes. And I guess see some things. You tell me what I need to do.
Yes. We need you, listeners.
That's what I'm up to.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, you did mention one of my big ones. I hesitated to bring it up because there's strikes going on. And I didn't know this, but one of my very favorite games, Oxenfree, which I've mentioned before on the show, I've talked about before on the show, was an indie game, but it was bought by Netflix. But the sequel came out a couple weeks ago, and I loved it. And I did recommend it to you. The only thing is, and I told you this, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of stressful because you have to make basically you get like, someone says something to you, and you have to choose between like 3 text bubbles really quickly. Not really quickly, but quickly, or they fade. Nothing happens to you if they fade other than you might not get like the ending you want or something. You can't die in this game. But sometimes I stress out because I'm like, what's the subtext of this meaning? Like, in my head. And it's a kind of like Stranger Things. It's a very like 80s radio signal creepy game, but it's very like text-based and kind of cute. Like the design is cute and fun. And I really enjoy it. I've already played it. I played it on my Steam Deck, not a sponsor. But it was really, really fun. And I told you it also, the ending, it's the first time in a long, long time that I've had an ending where I actually like laid awake and was like, well, what does it all mean then? What is this? Just because everyone agreed on what the good ending was. And I was like, is that the good ending? What is reality?
What is reality?
It's sort of the heart of the question is, what is reality of that game? It also has a lot of interesting things about motherhood. And I really like at the end, like no spoilers, but there is kind of this whole conversation about what it is to be a mother, but also like that's not all you are. Like you're more than just a mother. You're more than just all of these things. And it was it was a really interesting conversation I'd love to come back to, because it was kind of like you've been thinking of her in this one way, but here are all the facets of her where she's a person outside of that. So that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. We did go see Barbie separately, but we did both go see it. And I want to talk about it more for sure, but mostly what I just want to mention here is that there was a young boy sitting behind me and he cried in fear at the Kins. And I was like, you are right, kid. You are correct. And
that is the correct response. You're going to be okay.
Yeah. I was like, honestly, I wasn't annoyed at all. I was like, this is terrifying. You right. I'm with you, kid. I'm with you.
In my audience, so we went to a theater that is independent. That's an independent theater, and had to close down, and then got reopened. Wonderful, and it is real old. Like I forgot how old, and I went in. I was like, oh, yeah.
The
You have to be.
Was like, yeah.
Well, you have to be in the back row to actually appropriately see the screen. The way like there's no tilt, and it's all flat, and it's just screen. Like literally. What you would think of the old school movie. I was like, oh, there's no amenities to this at all, except for the people and the culture, and you're giving money to a good cause, whatever, independent theaters. But like my whole crowd of people were mainly older people that I noticed. That there was there was several that was younger, but I saw a lot of older men, and I was very interested in that. Like I saw like probably 50s and older men with their wives, or like just I was like, there's a lot of y'all. Wow, I wonder if this is the historical context of what this was. But I found that interesting.
Yeah. It was, I mean, like, we probably will come back and talk about this more in depth later, but my crowd was there were a lot of like shocked gasping, especially from the women of like,
Yeah. There's a lot of giggles, like, yep. Yeah. That's how it went. Yeah. The knowing giggles.
Yes, the knowing giggles. Yeah, that was really fun. What We Do in the Shadows came out, new season. I have loved it. There was one about gay pride parade, and it was very funny.
And is it completed?
Huh? No.
Okay.
It's they release actually today one came out. They come out on Thursday, but if you're streaming it, it comes out on Friday.
Right.
And it's on episode 5 of 10. But
okay.
There was one about Pride Parade that was purposefully very like people are being tokenizing of your quote gay guy. But at the end it had such like a happy acceptance of it. I was like, oh, we have to watch this. I made all my friends watch it.
I have to build mine up till it's over so I can binge it.
Yes, you are the opposite of me. Yes. I like to have the space it out, but I also want to know because I can see all the descriptions of the other ones, and I want to know. There was also very funny cameos with the Energy Vampire Council. Oh my gosh. Oh, it was so annoying, but purposefully and hilariously. So I've been enjoying that. I did binge Good Omens. Which some of you have written in about, and I am actually working on an episode based on a suggestion of our listener, good friend Jamie, about shipping, and Good Omens is going to be a big part of that episode. The shipping of Good Omens. Woo!
Have you seen their parody show where they're doing Zoom together?
No.
And they're just being annoying with each other. David Tennant and you have I'm gonna have to find one because all they're doing is arguing with each other or talking to each other, and then they bring their wives into the play. It's quite funny. Michael Sheen and David Tennant.
Yes. They were very cute. in it. And again, no spoilers, but I was like, okay. Okay.
I think it was a BBC series during COVID and people loved it.
Oh, I did see it. I didn't watch it, but I did I remember hearing about that. Yeah, I gotta
send
check
you some
that out.
clips.
Yes, so I can prepare for this episode. Oh my gosh. Also, I watched The Bear, which everyone was telling me to watch because I guess I'm on a food show.
Oh,
and
I was like, I wouldn't have sent that to you. I don't know. I love it. I love the show.
Yeah, no, I loved it. But I think this goes back to what we talked about in the episode we did about, I think it was the strike episode, but these genres. People were framing it to me like it was a comedy. That is not a comedy. That made me never want to go to a restaurant ever again.
I would say it's a feel-good dramedy.
Yeah, it's
it's not as hard because I was waiting for it to be.
Yeah.
The way I had framed it in my head was like, this is going to be traumatic. Everything's going to be the worst. And they're going to all hate each other and things are going to go bad. And then you're like, oh, there's some funny bits. Okay. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, okay. It's not going to end badly. Yay. That's the emotions I had because I had no idea going. And I didn't want to watch it at first because, I hate sad things and embarrassing things. Anything that makes me cringe. And that's why I assumed the entire thing would be, and it wasn't. I was pleasantly surprised, but I waited forever because that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. I had so many people suggest it to me. And I guess, I don't know, but I thought it was going to be comedy. And so it was sort of I was very stressed about it. I always have known that working in a restaurant is quite stressful, especially in a restaurant of certain, I don't want to say caliber, but expectation of what has to be.
Did you watch season 2? Okay, we're just starting season 2.
Oh my! Well,
yeah, I'm a little stressed out because it's already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, but the final episode, I was literally like, oh my god, I'm too stressed. But I don't think it's anything. I think it's more just it made me feel guilt for the pressure we put on people in restaurants.
Right.
I guess. I did enjoy it. I do. Every time someone suggests something to me, I trust that they know that I would like it. And they're almost always right. But I'm also TV shows stress me out anyway. And then I'm just reticent in case, what if I don't like it? I have to say something. But no, I did really enjoy it. It stressed me out because I was like, if this is what restaurants are putting people through, then I can't. I feel terrible. But I did like it.
Just tip really well.
Yeah, I do. But they have a whole conversation about tip in there. Also, I have a fan fiction update because, as you know, I have been publishing fan fiction.
Yeah, what's the name of it again?
And so far it's been great, and I've had great comments, and people give me suggestions, and I write them, even though I'm like, I would never have this idea or write this idea, and then I do, and I'm like, actually, no, you're right. This is cute, or whatever. But I have had some interesting. As we talked about in our episode called DubCon, which is dubious consent, I've had some interesting conversations about that with commenters where either they think I'm warning people too much, and that makes it sound scarier, and then people leave, and then it's not that bad. But I'm I don't want to, I would rather warn people too much than not warn them. But then I've also had people, by people I mean one person, who came at it from a completely different way than I interpreted something, and was like, it was interesting because I think ultimately everyone identifies with one character over the other.
Right.
And in this, I identified with the character that had much more insecurity and self-doubt and all of this stuff. And the other person identified much more with the other character that doesn't have that. And was like, you could never convince me that someone would be like this and all of this stuff. And I was like, I am not going to have this fight right now. I could convince you. But it was just interesting to see like because I do think it was a flaw. Like, it's not a good thing. I didn't want to portray it as like a good, this is insecurity, this is damaging, all of that stuff. But it was just interesting to hear from someone who was like, oh no. But also on top of that, I have had trouble reading fan fiction lately.
Oh no.
Because all I can think about is I should be writing fan fiction. And so I've learned, like, it feels like it is become, I do this all the time. I made it a job. I made it like a thing. I made it took something I enjoyed and made it like, oh, I have to do this. And I'm trying to balance it out. I've also discovered that creativity like really gives me energy. It really does. Like, I was so tired the other day and I made this like very silly Dungeons and Dragons collage, and it gave me so much energy just doing this ridiculous thing. But I'm going to have to figure this out because I don't want to lose fan fiction to, I feel like I have to go write fan fiction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be so sad.
I would be very, very sad. I would be very unhappy to this, but I have just discovered it's really, like, it used to be something I did, like, after work. I would check and I would read it, and it would be a nice kind of, like, decompressing thing. And now it's become, well, now I've got to write because I have to publish. Like, I'm going to have to figure it out.
Can you take a hiatus?
Oh, no. Oh. My listeners. I always say listeners, even though they're readers. And
I was going to say, who's listening?
People could find me. I always make that mistake. Yeah, it just feels like a pressure, especially when I'm writing and like, and I actually enjoy this, but I'm writing in pretty much a fandom that's like not many people write in anymore because it's 40 plus years old. So I feel like I have to, or else it'll just die out and no one will write. And then what will I do?
But that's not been true. People are still writing that. It may just be.
They are, but they don't write it as much. Like, I remember when I first started reading this compared to what it is now, and it is very much lower. But again, I actually kind of like that because then it's not, I have to read 40 stories a night, which is what it was at one point. It's much more like, it's just this handful. But I don't want it to die out completely. So I feel like I have to contribute. I'm making a lot of panicked motion.
Yes.
And I do have a kind of a fiery happy hour coming up about some fan fiction stuff. But yeah, so look forward to that.
Every time.
Yeah. But also, just to mention, I had this on the calendar for a long time. This, especially with Oxenfree, I really wanted to talk about it. But there is still ongoing strike stuff, which we totally support.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a strange place to be when you're like, I'm really enjoying this media. It was done before the strike, all this stuff, but it just feels kind of strange of,
right.
I hope that they get what they're asking for, which is not that much, to be honest.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's our media update. If you have any suggestions, some cozy, lazy games, it sounds like for Samantha.
Is there something that's lower than cozy? What's less than that? Like hibernating? Is there hibernating games? Is that the word?
Please let us know. I'm so curious as well. You can email us at stephanieandmomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter at Momstuff Podcast or at Instagram and TikTok at Stuff We Never Told You. We also have a TeePublic store and a book that you can pre-order now at stuffyoushouldreadbooks.com. Audiobook and physical book. Thanks as always to our super producer Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite shows.